Hi, I know I'm not here, but I'm kind of here. That doesn't make sense, but it makes sense to me. Shut up. What just happened to me? Alright. I am going to talk to Vaughn because Vaughn is the only fucking one here. Hi, Vaughn. Whoa, that's loud. Okay. Hi, how are you? Fucking feck. Feck is the one who asked what we were doing tonight. What the fuck? uh he talks about how you do this to us, and he goes around and fucking does it to us. This bitch. Nice. No. Thank you. You guys literally couldn't even hear him.
Wait,
That's very
enable
funny.
notifications? What the hell? Excuse me, phone? I didn't block notifications. What the fuck? What the fuck was that? So, I may have almost lost my voice today.
Is that right?
Yes.
What did you do?
So let me explain. So I was watching the Chicago Bulls go against the Atlanta Hawks, right?
Yeah.
And it was the last 4 seconds of the game. One of our players ended up, missing. Oh, hey, Vec, welcome.
Fucking
Hey,
finally.
hey, Hero decided to hide my microphone at some point in the night, so I had to find it.
Uh-huh. Sure.
Huh?
Sure.
Never heard of that before.
I...
Anyways, well, yeah. So 4 seconds, one of our players ended up missing the basket completely.
Oh, fuck.
But yeah, but one of our other players, named Io DeSumo, who's from Chicago, ended up making the basket in like less than like um it was only like 0.2 seconds on the clock, and he made the basket. And then I was screaming my ass off when we won.
Well, if it's up in
And
the air, then I
it,
mean,
it has to be off the it has to be off the player's hands before you know
yeah.
before yeah.
So like if the shot
But
looked
if it's in
good, then fucking brilliant. Good job.
yeah,
So
it's
Bulls
the ball
won?
was off his hand. yeah, the Bulls ended up winning a game winner.
Let's
It
go.
was a sweet revenge against Atlanta too, because they hit a game winner
Oh,
against us too.
Smash.
What? What?
Huh?
What did you say?
Talking to Shy.
Oh,
It's the main theme of the game.
hi, Shy.
I heard fashion. I'm like, wait, what?
Huh?
I heard Smash, but I'm
Well,
like, is
yeah.
he just questioning
Oh,
what we're playing, or?
Shy says hi.
Yay.
Hi, Shy.
Vaughn, your lobby sucks. Hello.
Yeah, I was resetting. Wait, what happened? Heck?
Your lobby sucks. I can't get in.
Oh, I had to reset it because I figured that the lobby would close with no,
Coward.
I'm a coward.
I still beat Alex here.
You did. I still don't like you, but yes, you did beat Alex.
That's why. That's so rude.
You literally yell at Vaughn for doing this exact same thing. What are we doing tonight,
Okay.
guys? And then you fucking
Except
don't even
okay,
show
yeah,
up.
except I didn't suggest to the game that I didn't show up.
No, but you asked what we were doing tonight and then ghosted the rest of the chat. And then
Yeah, because Snapchat didn't update me. You know what Vaughn does? He just doesn't respond.
Sure,
He sees it and then he's like, I'll get to it later.
He doesn't look at them half the time. I don't ever see
I
him like
literally
look at the chat.
said in Discord, hey, just saw this, be on in a few. Like 10 minutes ago.
You know what? I can't even deny that because Beck was telling the truth on that.
Hello?
Hi,
I
Alex.
didn't.
They're laughing.
So Britt was talking about how
Vaughn fucked up.
so Britt was talking about how Beck complains that I would suggest a game and then I would just show up a little late, but Feck did it today.
Mm-hmm.
And Feck just literally like read my mind on like how I look at a message and I'm just like, I get back to that later.
Shit. I don't know what to do today, as far as like picking characters are concerned.
Just go crazy.
So wait,
I'm just going random.
who has an arena?
I do.
Vaughn,
Okay.
I have an idea.
I'm gonna try and play characters I don't normally play today.
I'm gonna play characters in order of how they are on my amiibo shelf.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I mean,
So like, the beginning of the night, gonna be fine. The middle of the night, we're gonna get our asses kicked, and the end of the night, it's gonna be okay.
other
Joker
way
is
around,
first.
actually. You're gonna start in trouble, and then it's gonna get shitty. And
Yeah.
Joker's not first; he's actually fifth.
Okay,
So
no, I mean at the
you-
front, kind of first.
Oh yes.
You didn't put the ones you liked front and center. You just they're on the sides.
No, that's the thing. They're front and center, so I have to get through all the other ones on the left side to make my way to the center.
Oh,
who is the first? I've seen your amiibo shelf so many fucking times.
I
What is the
actually-
first one?
Oh wait, no, I actually changed it recently.
Did you? Fuck.
Well,
okay.
you're gonna see in a minute, aren't you?
I am gonna see in a minute, but I was trying to like remember what your. Wait, you said Joker was first, right?
Joker's not first.
Or fifth.
Fifth. So you have 4 rounds. Of,
Yeah. I have 4 rounds of random, and then I'm gonna be Sora.
Actually, you have 3 rounds of Swiss Bliss.
Is
What?
Byleth right next to him?
Try to guess who's fourth. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Byleth is fourth and Joker's fifth. There's 2 centers.
Oh,
Do you
damn.
have everybody in the characters as amiibos?
Not everybody. I'm still working on that.
Okay.
Yes, but that's one thing because you've asked me. It's like things that I'm into, but I don't think I've ever outright sold you like my Christmas wish list on Amazon. And she muted herself, so she cannot confirm this.
Terribly tonight, but that's just because every character is a character I don't play.
Sorry. Yes, you are correct. Trey texted me. He's at negative 26-degree weather, and he's from Florida, so it's very fucking funny.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's supposed to be brutal for us here too.
Yeah, the wind chills is supposed to be like negative 20 to 40.
Yep, that's what I was trying to tell you yesterday.
In Michigan,
that
it's taking
sucks.
like 18 to 24 inches right now.
I'm fucked.
You are one of the most dangerous characters in the game, Britt.
Literally look terrified.
Okay, fine.
Oh my gosh, bro.
Fuck you guys. Ah, not what I want.
Critical hit.
Wait.
All that skill I'm doing.
Wait. Ah. Wait. Ah. Whoopsies. What the fuck is this character?
Villager?
No,
You
no,
play Animal Crossing.
your character, not mine.
Oh,
Hero.
Hero. I'm pretty sure you played Hero before, no? Or did you not get Hero?
I don't remember.
Okay. He's DLC.
Oh.
If
Oh,
that helps.
then fuck no. I only have 3 DLCs.
Yeah, Sora, Byleth, and Joker.
Oh, 4 then.
Why
4
did
then.
we have
Because I have
Smash
Steve
Balls?
too. I have Steve too.
Oh, that's my. I forgot I had that.
Fuck yeah!
Alright, well,
Damn
get
it.
to know that for next time.
Damn it! I wanted to get Alex because he was in front of me, but I forgot
Oh.
how weak that was.
Alex, no.
Oh wait, why are you Link? I just caught that. Beck is Sonic and you're Link.
Yep.
It's so
Oh,
weird.
Yeah, no, Link is the character I play, so I'm not touching him tonight.
Ah!
Oh, you're playing characters that you don't play.
So they're playing each other.
That
Each
doesn't sound right.
other. Holy fuck.
Alex, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
Take that out of context, please.
Hero's dead now.
It ain't even worth fighting it. It's not such not a good Final Smash.
It really isn't.
It's a good Final Smash
I
if you're
shouldn't
Sonic.
have gone near you. Holy fuck. What?
You're getting hit again.
So I was like just close enough. That's so depressing, actually.
Yeah, you got hit by the tip of the
Hey,
sword.
heck,
Holy
have
fuck.
Alex
Hi.
and he
How are you?
pushed out of the way, so
Fuck.
Alex, no.
Oh, shit. What the fuck was that? What the fuck did I just do? Hi.
Hi.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
Oh, damn it.
yeah, that was.
You
a
guys
right in
were
front of
all
you.
next to me when I
Oh.
pressed the button. That's so depressing.
Speaking of right in front of you moves, I'm getting out of the way.
Ah, we're fine. Everything's okay. Holy shit. I'm
Uh-oh.
wrong. I'm wrong.
That's
Stop.
not the move I did.
Get away from the villager.
What are you singing?
I don't know. Fuck.
Alex,
How many stocks do we have?
Somebody
Do we
kill
have 4
him.
natural stocks?
let's go.
Ah, shit.
Nothing's gonna happen. Don't worry.
All I'm
No,
about
you're all
to
too
die
low.
is what's.
in the sky.
Oh, la la la. La. I have 1 stock, people. What am I doing? I don't know. Fuck off!
Punching me, please stop.
Oh,
No!
I wanted Bud. But he rolled.
Tipped by are you kidding me?
I would
No!
so Alex, I would like you to know that you and I just like teamed up on that.
Did we?
I was punching him and then he backed off right into your sword.
Well,
No.
good combo.
Oh wait, I'm not the first one dead. Okay, I'm okay with this now. I can die in peace.
You were okay with it before. What do you mean now? You sacrificed me.
What the fuck?
Aw.
All I feel is betrayal.
No.
Well, I'm just gonna go over here.
Bye,
Hey,
man.
Britt finally got it.
Fuck off. I just got like evaporated.
Yeah, that's literally
Yeah.
what that move is.
Hero's cheap
Oh,
as
good.
fuck.
Well, actually, he's $5.99.
Well, you fucking messed up again.
On you, Alex.
See ya.
You're saying that
Oh,
I
I was
finally
hoping you were
got
gonna
it.
walk up next to me.
Vaughn has fucked up that Final Smash every time.
What the fuck?
Or he's just bad at, being good. See ya!
No.
DLC
God damn it.
Deep.
My hands are sweaty.
privilege.
privilege.
Every
I-
hero player is a bitch. That's a fact.
If it
Yeah.
helps you guys
You
picking
know-
out my characters, the next 2 characters are also DLC before my DLC mains.
Oh, great.
Oh, don't you dare fucking do it.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I really
There is no
don't know.
Sora amiibo if that's what you're talking about, and I'm also bad at Sora.
Not yet. Not yet.
There
Soon.
isn't a Sora amiibo?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Currently, they're releasing Sephiroth and Pyramithra. And Kazuya. They're releasing Sephiroth and Kazuya next month, and then Pyramithra's coming later in the year.
Does this count? Does this count as a character I haven't played? I'm gonna count it.
I mean, just think of characters you're not good at or don't play frequently.
I'm gonna count this as a character I don't play.
Okay.
I
Okay.
I'm gonna see
feel
what
like
you're
it's a
talking
version of Link. Yep,
about.
that he doesn't
Good call.
that he
Yeah.
doesn't play.
Yeah.
Young Link is fun. I think Young Link is my favorite Link.
He's a little different. I think he's different enough to say I don't play him.
Young Link just reminds me
Fuck
of like
me,
Link
guys!
from,
I'm dead
Long
first.
and Fast
Oh, Duck Hunt. I like Duck Hunt.
I don't play anybody to be fully confident in anyone but
Hey,
Sora.
look,
Oh
we're
fuck me,
both-
Jesus Christ!
We're both double Animo duos. I'm a bear and a bird, and you're a dog and a bird. Oh, I forgot how to play Banjo, but we're good now. Banjo is like
Damn
the
it.
least DLC character.
Ah la la.
Least favorite or something?
No. He's no. He's the least DLC character.
Oh. God.
Thanks for the save, Alex. Vaughn was after me.
Alright.
Wait,
I
wait,
helped you,
Alex,
you
help me!
Oh,
No.
Oh, there we go.
That was like the first time I couldn't up B. What the fuck? That's stupid. Well, that happened.
Wrong way.
Oh, Alex.
you dropped
God
right into that
fucking
one.
damn it!
Alex, why?
Ah, la la la. Why me?
Alex, I thought we were friends.
Oh, my bad.
Makes no sense. I'm the person that you don't go for. I know
Oh,
fucking.
I was actually about to kill Vaughn.
Wait,
Can't
grab
it.
Hi. Hi. I'm stupid. I killed myself. That's fine. I think 3 out of 4 times I killed myself. That's fun.
I went low for that, man. I wanted it. Why would it break?
Oh shit. Uh-oh.
You did not deserve that.
Oh shit.
Oh god.
I want a second try. Oh, it went
I think
away.
it's gone.
Okay.
I was just trying to get away from Vaughn, man.
What is happening?
Oh, well, you got away from Vaughn.
I got him away from me, rather.
Oh, you bitch.
No.
Oh, what the
No.
Oh, I was going deep for it. I'm dead for that. No, I'm not. We're good.
Heck, stop it!
No, fuck you.
Okay. Wait,
I hate that
wrong
there's
way.
no on-screen indicator for how many wings I have. I know I have 0. It's just I always have the instinct of like, oh, let me do it again.
Get out of here!
Do you like smack your friend down for an attack? Oh my
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
god, that's awful!
That's amazing. What are you talking
What
about?
the hell? He just fucking... Uh-oh.
It's called the birdie bash.
Oh god, he doesn't have the bow and arrow, does he?
He does on neutral B.
No,
Oh.
I mean like his.
He doesn't shoot the guardian arrow, no.
Yeah.
Holy
I was between a rock and a hard place. That was not a good spot for me.
Yeah, Vaughn killed you last feck, so...
Hold on, I'm just trying to get Vaughn.
I was
No,
hoping he was
bitch.
gonna jump earlier.
Oh.
Oh shit, my bad. I went the wrong way.
Why did you...
Wow.
I went the wrong way. I was gonna go the other way. I also hate that he doesn't have a funny move.
No,
Well?
I dodged that.
Oh, okay.
Alright, Alex, kick
What?
Vaughn's ass.
With this character?
Yeah, go, Alex.
Oh, you bitch.
Bro,
Gotta-
this
hang on, I
duck
gotta
is
put my
getting
bird away.
abused.
No!
It's a bird.
They're getting abused.
It's not a duck. You had the duck.
Yeah, you're right. It just the bill just kind of reminded me of Daffy Duck, so I just went with it.
It's more like Roadrunner, I would say.
It's too tiny for Roadrunner though. Roadrunner's
Roadrunner's too small, Brett.
cutie?
Yeah.
Roadrunners aren't that big.
Spacing. Ow.
I guess I'm thinking in relative to a fox, which is also kind of small.
Oh.
Roadrunners only come up to like your knee at most, maybe.
He's Thank you.
Wrong way.
What?
About 2 feet. Okay, yeah, I was thinking relative to, oh.
I mean, also think about it being relative to a grizzly bear. What?
A grizzly bear? Oh, I guess
That's
that's your character, yeah.
Can also fit inside of the size of a book bag.
Dude. Dude!
Bye-bye. Oh!
No, we're good.
No, you're not.
Oh, I thought I had a third jump.
No, we're good. False.
You used your third jump.
No, I forgot about that. Banjo-Kazooie has shitty jumps.
We have some characters that have like third jumps while others have like multiple.
Well, no. There are characters that have 3 jumps, like Pit and Dark Pit, and then there's characters like Banjo-Kazooie that have like 2.5 jumps.
Yeah. And then you got Kirby, Meta Knight, DDD, Jigglypuff with like multiple. Yeah.
I'm back.
Hello.
How are you?
I am good. How are you?
I am tired.
You should sleep for this entire round.
I mean, I'm
quick
a
nap.
random character.
Guaranteed
It's not
third.
like
I
I
might
guaranteed
take a
all the
third.
DLC
How bad is
characters.
your character, Alex?
No, because if you're falling asleep, you're gonna get last, because you're just gonna get beat.
So
I'm not
guaranteed
gonna-
fourth?
No, you're guaranteed 4th. The rest of us are guaranteed 3rd.
Oh. I thought you were talking about me guaranteed third. I'm like, what?
Brett's Alf.
Y'all have fun. Thank you, Maggie.
I am.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, good stage.
Ah! Why? Fuck.
I was gonna spike you.
No.
Well, I was.
Ah, fuck. I fucked up.
Alright, I won't do that. Oh, yeah. Ah!
I mean, it's fine. I'm only at 13, but still.
Yeah, I know.
There we go.
Yeah. Oh. Oh,
Okay.
that was a dead.
That wasn't.
Ah! Ugh. I'm okay. I'm less okay. Alright. Cool.
Okay, no, we're good.
Sucker. Oh, never mind.
I'm scared. I'm just holding shield. I'm scared. Oh, you're
Oh
dead.
shit!
Lol.
I went super low. What the fuck was that?
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
Oh, right. I forgot how to play this character until right now.
No.
Jab, jab. Power dunk off the ledge.
Jab, jab, kill yourself.
Jab, jab, suicide.
Oh, there I go.
What's the wrong direction?
Come here! Oh,
Wow,
shit.
okay, everybody just whiffed all their attacks.
My sucker punch is so awesome. Got here.
Jab, jab, power dunk.
Ow.
Jab, jab, power dunk.
Oh my god.
Ah!
Oh my god.
Oh, no, never mind. Wrong way. Oh, shit.
Wait a minute!
Oh, I'm too young to die!
Oh, well.
Itch.
Um.
Vaughn was hard targeting me that entire time.
I feel like I'm the only one getting targeted.
No, I'm being targeted by Vaughn this entire time.
Whoa.
I don't know who I'm going for. I'm honestly just trying to figure out what my moves are. I know it's the
Hey,
same
go
moves that
sauce.
I've seen before, but like, that doesn't mean much.
Get off me.
Oh.
Oh,
Remember, I can do the inputs.
Right.
Leave me
hi.
alone.
How are you?
No. What? Geyser.
Ooh.
Let me get back.
You're about to lose your.
Oh, I
yeah.
have one life. Fuck off.
Well, now you have
Ah.
0 lives. Complimentary of Vaughn. Jab, jab, power dunk.
Stop it.
Just power dunk again.
Doc.
Please don't.
Back air.
Aw. I'm
Jab, jab,
Japanese.
power dunk.
I said
Please kill Vaughn.
I'm trying, man. I'm bad at this character.
Please do better.
fuck. I did not mean to land there.
Ow.
You just see the tiny souls, and it's very, very sad. Oh, okay.
Uh-oh.
Oh, hi! How are you?
Whee! Jab, jab, power dunk.
Oh, shit.
Holy shit! Ah, there we go.
I just killed all your Pikmin and he killed you. What's wrong, Vaughn?
I took.
You didn't even try. You just stood there.
I just-
Oh, right.
Ah, wait, get away from me.
Okay.
Bye.
Oh,
You know what? I'm just gonna take this.
See you later.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's go. Okay, bye, Vaughn.
I'm okay with this. This is okay. Fuck you, Vaughn.
Yeah, Britt,
Such
for
a bitch ass
playing
gift.
random characters, you've been doing pretty good with this match.
Oh, with this one, maybe. Oh, shit. Bye.
Here, give me a hug.
See you later. Oh, I'm so dead.
You sure are.
I'm so dead. Holy shit.
Okay.
Okay, you're not Mario, Terry.
Oh shit.
All right,
I killed
it's-
4 people. Sick.
You
Or
didn't
it's
say
killed
what
4
lets it
times,
go.
not 4 people, you know what I mean? I killed all
You
at
were
once.
counting?
That's sick.
Were you counting?
What?
No,
No.
it's been 4 matches.
Okay.
Oh my
His
goodness, that was
Byleth
my
next.
last Byleth
Yes.
punch. I love Little Mac's punches. It's so cool. And
You sound like a little kid, like goo eyes on like their favorite superhero. It's like he's so cool. He could do this move and this
so
move.
cool. I like
He's so
the next
cool,
move.
guys.
This is my favorite move. Oh wait, this is my favorite move.
That's literally
wait,
like
actually,
Deku with
I'm better.
All Might.
I'm gonna do it, guys. I'm a failure.
I'm a failure. Man, I'm really falling for a long time.
I fucking. The abridged is so good.
It's so good.
I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry, All
The
Might.
next one I actually might try because the next one's Joker.
So you
I
saying my
tell
violence
you
ain't hot
that-
shit?
No,
I'm
I'm just saying that Joker is your, or at least was your main.
It's my old main. He's my secondary.
I don't know who to play.
It makes me sad though because I would love to make Joker my main. He's just way too light. Byleth is at least a little chunky, so I can take some heat. I can take some heat.
What about Wario Feck?
Ooh, Wario's hella chunky.
Wario, but where's Wario at?
He is chunk.
Where's he at?
Wario.
He's the
Nowhere.
definition of an overweight fat cat.
There he is. I found him.
Seriously, we need a walk. We need.
This
Wow.
bitch doesn't come in orange.
He did in
Halloween.
Brawl. Brawl had an orange form.
Yeah, you were able to choose his biker form and his. Well, wait, never mind. You still have it. Sorry.
There was 8 regular forms and 8 biker forms. There's just 4 and 4 now.
Yeah,
Lame.
because you would have like his class. You would have one style where
Oh
he
my
was in like,
God.
the classic.
Are
Are you
retro
fucking
mode.
kidding me?
Fire Emblem
Oh.
versus Wario. I'm not gonna
Oh,
lie,
H-
I had to shield right away just to know which Fire Emblem I was. Yeah, no, let me get that. Let me get that.
Holy shit!
Get out of the way. You got it in my way. Well, that's what you get, I guess.
Why?
I did not want you to be the one to die. I warned you so early.
I got pushed into you. It's so
You did.
rude.
You very much so did.
You totally did, but that was funny.
Hi.
Ow. Well, I mean, your forward air saved me
I'm
from
fucked.
getting countered.
Did you get part of my face?
Wow,
Ugh.
Roy's save is not the best.
No,
No,
it's
it's
like
not.
Mario. Too early.
Oh,
Fuck you guys.
And right on
La
time.
la 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 la. Bye. See you later. Ah, shit.
I just remember I don't have a
Fuck
counterattack
me, really?
either. I hope they make another Smash Bros, but they make neutral,
I'm
like
so
Shield
dead.
B, a new input.
I'm so dead.
I didn't mean to grab you, Britt.
Oh.
I knew you weren't paying attention, so I figured that was the perfect time to do that. Oh, wait
You
a
were
minute.
both in.
I'm not. No.
What?
No.
Yes.
Me.
I was trying to.
Down, doggy. Fuck off.
You're just always the
Down
one.
doggy?
Yes,
You're just
he
always
keeps
the one
biting
in the
me.
area.
It's the only fucking thing I can relate to.
Eat that.
Okay.
Bye. Ah. Someone fucking final smash Alex.
Oh,
Are
I don't know why,
No
I really
idea.
I really like Vaughn's ad lib as he's being shot up in the air as Ike. I feel like that was perfect.
La la no be.
Get closer.
Hi, how are you? Ah, bye. See you later.
Oh, Feck's playing Wario the way I
I'm
play Wario.
dead again.
Oh shit.
You mean
Roy
correctly?
Guess
save
what?
is
Me and
such
Feck are
bullshit.
dying as well.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, we were kind of stuck in his final smash. I should have turned it around. I knew you were just gonna keep rolling.
Bye, guys.
You guys are teaming up!
All right.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just getting juggled.
Yeah, so was I! I was with you!
Leave me alone, Brett.
Well, no, don't worry
Well,
about it.
she killed herself, don't
I
worry.
did.
yes.
Well, I wasn't the first to die. That's what matters.
By like 3 seconds.
I'm supposed to be the distance demon!
Yeah,
my
you were
range?
just a little too high.
What the fuck?
Oh my god.
Oh, you were
okay.
any other character that would have killed.
Alex,
Alright.
up B spike him.
Oh, well.
So you go what?
Up B spike him. I think
Yeah.
that's one of the most disrespectful spikes in the game.
Trust me, I want to. I just can't get my hands on him.
Wow. Oh,
Nope.
No!
He's trying
Well-
so hard to not get hit by it.
Yes.
He's trying so hard to not get hit by it.
You
It's
can
one of the
definitely
most
just
disrespectful
fucking
spikes in
kill
the
him.
game. I love it.
It is. It is the most disrespectful, I would say.
I don't know. Mario's pretty disrespectful.
Well, that's just forward aerial, though.
Oh, what? Oh!
Bye.
Oh, you wait. I meant to grab the ledge.
Stood there in the face of danger. Forward
No,
air.
literally, when I hit you with the side B, I thought I wasn't gonna recover after that.
When you hit forward air, what?
I hit you with the side B,
Side
and
B,
then
yeah.
I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah, normally that leaves you in free fall. I'm surprised you were able to up B out of that.
Yeah, that would have been bad.
I would have laughed.
No, that probably would
Oh.
have been way worse than like.
I
Oh?
played with my amiibos way out of order than I thought. The next character is not who I thought it was.
Who is it?
Well, I'm
Oh,
not going
wait,
to tell
I-
you because that would ruin the fun.
Oh, okay. I'm probably just gonna guess it's.
Just giving you guys a fair warning. When I get about 8 more Smash Brothers amiibos, I want to do an arena where you guys take on my highly trained amiibo, like all 3 of you against one. I think that'd be funny.
Oh shit, it's Joker.
Oh wow!
Okay,
Oh,
perfect timing that I had.
oh shit! It's Joker. Meanwhile, you pull out your main. We all knew this.
You literally, yeah, we've said Joker from the beginning. What do you mean?
We all knew this was gonna be round 5. The only person who didn't pick a main was me.
Well, you could. You just chose not to.
No, Spec, this is not your main. Corn's your main.
He
Yeah, I
said
said
the only person who
didn't pick a
didn't.
main is me.
He has a couple of mains. He's been trying to pick up Lucario. He plays Link a lot. He plays Pikachu
Bye.
sometimes.
Bye.
Great.
I mean, I'm just going DLC against DLC. Actually, hang on, no. Give me the most DLC character.
I would currently
okay.
say that
Ah,
Link
okay.
is my main.
Jesus fucking Christ. I was
Yeah,
only
what-
fighting
whatever
Vaughn.
happened to Lucario?
I'm still working on him. I just need to.
I swear
Play
I
a
was
little
trying to
more.
only fight Vaughn. Side B
Here, I'll
is
fight him
bullshit.
for you.
There we go.
Oh, never mind.
I'm really just like fucking Christ. Side B's really weird.
Ah,
Bye, Vaughn.
Brit.
Oh, I missed. Bye.
Wanna play fire with fire effect? Take this, bitch.
I was past you.
I was like right underneath him. I got fucked a little bit.
ledge grabs don't work on the stage.
Fuck! That was
Grappling
so
characters
close.
don't work on the stage.
Shit.
Grappling characters don't work on the stage.
Oh, I was trying to do that. He was still in invincibility. That was sad.
I'm so mad that I died because my grapple doesn't work.
Oh my god. Spec, you're giving him the juice.
Oh, I already have the juice.
Yeah.
Thanks
he's
to
had
him.
it.
Woo!
Yeah. I'm staying up here for a bit,
Fuck.
you know? It feels nice.
Yes, I did.
Being up here feels very, very nice, guys.
You just interrupted Vaughn
feel
in his
so
fight.
safe.
We were having our own little.
You were
Yeah,
having an
well, you
anime
guys did
moment.
the same thing to me and Vaughn, so I don't want to hear it.
What?
Thanks, Britt, for keeping me away from that.
Ah! What?
Oh my god.
You just thanked me! That's fucking...
Technically speaking, I killed Feck in that experience. You just happen to be in the way.
Oh, I forgot you can turn it around.
Oh
I
yeah.
didn't even know I could. I don't know why I tried to attack you just then, Alec. I saw you doing it.
Oh, well, alright, that happened. That's not what I meant to do.
Oh, Alex.
What do you mean? Oh, Alex. Of course I'm gonna do that.
Oh,
Get in there.
okay, I was attacking Vaughn from afar! Hey, why? Why? Feck, you bitch!
Feck.
Oh, that was the wrong direction, you
Oh.
son of a bitch! Story, you asshole!
Oh.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
I had to try, you know. That's going off the ledge.
Oh, okay.
Mine.
Well, I tried to get.
Oh, that's going off the ledge
Sorry.
again. Oh, come on! Give me away.
Come on. We have it. Oh.
Ugh. Damn it.
Good try, though.
Feck was there and then wasn't. Okay, that fucking happened.
Try.
Okay. Well, I didn't, but okay.
I
Oh,
want you
well,
to.
that's not what I meant to do at all, but okay. Oh, well, alright. Oh, shit.
Oh, bitch.
Oh,
I was expecting
shit.
Sora to come in. Hi.
No!
Yeah!
I dodged!
Both of you again! Both of you
I
again!
dodged!
I hope I'm not dead, am I?
You both are with the
I'm dead.
suicide kill! Let's go!
Get him, Brit.
No,
Oh,
I went the
I
wrong
was trying to
direction.
hit you with the main hit, but that didn't work.
I'm
Oh, well.
surprised this game isn't lagging.
Trying to
This-
side
this
beat him with
big
the
ass-
side. Oh, bye, Vaughn.
Oh!
Oh, really?
Oh, I can't use sauce on that.
You're
Oh,
dead,
they put me
Alex.
in front of you? That blows.
Ah.
Oh, shit. Guess what? I'm dead.
I'm
You
trying to
said
get Vaughn. Fuck off.
I fucking saved you!
Didn't we
Alright,
talk
well,
about
you
how
know
my
what?
move...
I guess I'm just gonna fucking do this.
Oh, shit.
Everybody does.
Fucked me up.
Oh,
Oh, I didn't even know that I had that. I did up B. What the fuck?
Yeah, and you almost killed me and Feck with it without knowing it.
Oh! Oh! Ooh. Ooh. Wait!
I got you.
No, I grabbed the ledge!
Well,
I
you
spiked you
fucked
because
yourself up,
two-frame.
Feck. Fuck you.
That's some bullshit. I grabbed the fucking ledge.
Well, get better at the game.
That's so stupid. What the fuck?
Feck is in such focus mode, he's like just silent. Oh wow, you,
can't-
you
it's
fucking
doing it.
Neither of us
missed it.
can. Alright, well, nobody gets it.
I think that's death. Oh no.
It's death for
That's-
me.
Allie.
Grapple
Well,
doesn't work! I told you!
um,
Grapple doesn't work on this stage!
Now you're fucked.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm so
Now
dead.
you're fucked.
You're too high.
Feck,
I want
do
you to
what I
roll
do.
in so bad. I want you to roll in so bad, dude.
I don't want to.
Wow.
Ah!
Well,
Game,
you
by
did.
the way.
Uh-oh.
Nope.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
you're
Nope.
dead.
Uh-oh.
Come here.
I'd
Uh-oh.
really
Uh-oh.
rather you didn't,
Uh-oh.
actually. If you could not, that'd be great.
Well, I did, but I missed.
I'm surprised you didn't turn it around.
Okay,
I tried to,
Oh
but it
my
wouldn't.
God.
Well, bye,
I
Feck.
hate
But
how
the neutral B,
invincible
he
that
Goodbye,
wields a
Feck.
gun.
Goodbye, Feck.
Oh.
is.
Wait, what?
Uh-oh.
I rolled.
Oh!
No, that's
Glitched off.
That little flip was so sick.
That's
It's
why
also
Joker's the
bullshit.
best. It's also bullshit, but it's also sick.
Alex still got it.
It's sick, but like some moves it just shouldn't be able to block.
I was just trying
No,
to get Vaughn
It was
for
a dodge
most
roll.
of that
It was
round.
a dodge roll.
No. That was a dodge roll. But like some moves, Saw should just not be able to.
I agree that during final smash, just all invincibility should be off. Like if you're in front of me and I'm using this super special move, you're getting hit.
See?
So, anyways, now you guys get to see the character I'm not super excited for in a free for all. That's your only hint? Is that it's because it's a free for all?
Who else?
It's definitely
I don't
not
play a lot of
Steve.
Little Mac.
Definitely not Steve. Steve was one of my newer amiibos I trained, so I don't think I'm gonna play him tonight.
Oh jeez, imagine you playing him. What level is Steve, anyways?
50.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, I did 1v2s with the Steve and Alex amiibos, and I got them both to 50 that way. I'm currently looking at my shelf. I have 9 amiibos I need to train, but I want to buy 8 more so that way I can do like a tournament video. It's back to a random.
Yep.
And it's Little Mac. Ow, my foot!
Ow, my foot! Oh, Vaughn's
I
Sonic.
heard. Yeah.
I just like the way you sang it.
I don't know who this character is.
His name
Well,
is
I know who this character is, but
his undercover identity is actually a Dark Kirby.
is it really?
He's known as the world's strongest warrior, or the galaxy's strongest warrior.
What are these moves that I'm using? I'm confused.
Very fast,
I
very
like to
weak.
touch the ground.
No, you're Little Mac.
I am but a boxer, completely out of my element here. I just
shit.
want to
Ooh,
touch the ground.
good read. Too bad I lived.
Oh,
Oh my god!
What?
The hit stun from Meta Knight actually got that for me.
Woo!
Whoa!
I don't know what I'm doing.
Bye.
Wait, Alex. Okay, Jesus fucking Christ. I'm going after the other two. What the fuck, Beck? Beck got me killed. That was Beck.
Aw.
You wanted to spike for that, huh?
I wanted the downbeat spike. I was gonna go suicide for that.
What?
Woo.
Yeah, how'd that go?
I didn't grab the ledge.
Oh, you were so dead.
Fuck you. We weren't doing anything, so I'm like, fuck you.
Yo, that was funny.
How did I die from that? Fuck. That was like the slowest fucking death I've ever seen.
Yeah, too bad you don't die to that.
Beck, I don't know what you think.
Holy fuck! Alright, bye.
He thought about fighting the big dragon.
I'm too far away from Vaughn. I can't do the same thing.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Hey.
You were my target. Please don't hit me.
Oh my fucking god!
Let's go!
Oh, that hurt.
I didn't know where it was on
Yeah.
the stage. I probably would have been able to save myself.
You
Why
gotta
did I
admit
go
though,
that way?
that was thick as hell.
Oh, okay. Ugh!
My final smash! I want it!
Ha ha! Let's go.
So, anyways, how you guys doing?
Hey. What's up?
I'm just hanging out. Fact, please.
Yeah,
Fact.
what's up? Yeah, what's up?
Fact.
Yeah, what's up? Yeah, what's up?
Alright, Brent, well, you ready for this 1v1?
No,
I'll take third.
not really.
I'll take third with Little Mac. I'll take third with Little Mac. I'm okay with that.
Well, see you
Well,
later.
shit. I can't up the after side beat. It's so sad.
Nope, neither. Well, Little Mac can, but he's already bad at recovering as it is.
I don't know how to properly recover with Little Mac.
You don't. The only way to properly recover if you're going to go off the ledge with side B is to make sure to save a jump. Because if you do side B off the ledge, then do your jump and then up B. Where is this character at?
Nobody,
here.
nobody listens to Alex. Everyone's like,
I did.
Trying to be
okay.
helpful and giving tips and help you guys
I
win.
listened. I listened.
Hey, look, Britt reached 10 kills.
Fuck you. 11, thank you very much. Fuck you, bitch.
Well, okay, if we're looking at the overall totals, I have 41, so...
Alright, I don't wanna hear
It
it.
says 30. I want to give you the benefit of the doubt, because the last time you gave me an update was 30.
I don't like you. Who the fuck are you?
Ooh, huh?
Simon.
Yeah, that
Theodore?
doesn't help me.
Oh, he's from, me dying. No, there we go. Castlevania.
I thought you just killed yourself right away, Alex.
I thought I did too.
Get away from me! Get away! Get away from me!
When I finally get a Simon amiibo, I'm naming him Conan the Barbarian.
Oh, son of a bitch.
I don't know what I'm
That
doing.
was in my way. of my
What even
5D.
are these moves that I'm using?
Lots of projectiles. You're bad at recovering.
Thanks.
Your
thanks.
whip-
Awesome. Fan fucking.
Yep, you're welcome. Your side smashes are a long whip, so if you don't want to get close to people, just smash that.
Again, why did you do that?
This is a video
Oh
game.
my god, Vaughn, fuck off! I'm really bad at recovering, son of a bitch!
Yeah, if you do your aerial attacks, though, you can grab onto the ledge.
Okay. I don't know what that fully means, if I'm honest with you.
I told you it has long range.
Oh my god!
No, leave me feck. Leave me feck. I'm gonna kick. Oh, bitch!
Oh, well, Feck got you.
La 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 la. What the fuck just happened
Nope,
to me?
screw this, I'm using mine.
Up! Up! Oh, son of a...
Are you serious?
I wanted to see what my funnel was.
Don't worry, you'll get it back.
No, I won't. Not before I die.
Well, just don't die then.
Bitch.
Okay,
Vaughn's a little
well,
mad.
Never mind.
I can't imagine why.
Ugh.
I have no idea.
At least my down smash is good.
Oh, fuck off, Beck. Fuck off, you son of a bitch.
Oh.
Fuck off, both of you.
Alex is dead.
Yeah, I'm very dead. So are you.
Oh. You were.
Well, there
like,
you go. You
below
got to see
60.
what your
That was
final smash
interesting.
was.
That was interesting.
What happened?
I said, he was below 60, so that was interesting.
It's the ending number that matters. It's just funny what the first number is when you get hit.
I didn't even know where I was.
Dead.
Yep. I see that now, thanks.
You're welcome. I try to help wherever I can, you know?
Are you okay, Mon?
I think that is a no.
I don't know how this smash works, so I don't know how to counter it.
Well.
You get hit by the X, and X marks the spot.
Oh, wow, Jesus.
You're dead.
Okay, well, yeah.
Well.
All it took was one grab.
Devon?
All it took was an edge guarding bitch.
You good,
That's
buddy?
all. That's all BJ's good at.
Hey, I killed Alex twice. Let's go.
Fun.
Fun.
I love you, bud.
No homo.
Come on, this was your first fourth place. So I don't want to hear it.
Full homo. I love
Yeah,
you, bud. Damn.
He don't love you back, bro.
Damn.
I think it's
Alright,
over.
Wow. Alright, I'll just kill myself.
Pick a number 1 or 2.
7.
7.
Why did you guys both have the same random number on lock?
Two. Just go with two.
I mean, I'm doing an odd number because, yeah, but still.
This is
That's-
why Brett's my best friend.
The fact that you both were just like 7.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Of all
that
the
was great.
numbers,
That's
it could have been
great.
69 for all you know. There's billions of numbers.
Yeah, there's an infinite
7.
amount of numbers, and 7 is our go-to.
Well, you see,
Alright,
the thing
that's
is,
good to know.
we didn't want it to be too far out of range, but
Also, a number easy to say.
We just read each other's minds real quick. It's fine. Everything's good. Uh-oh, we're dead.
You guys have actual
wow,
telepathy.
man, wow.
What did you say, Alex?
You guys have actual telepathy.
Actual telepathy. Yeah, you know.
We picked the same spot to drop in Fortnite quite a lot too.
Yo, yeah, we do that a lot. Yeah.
Well, isn't that
Oh,
partially with
shit.
communication?
No, sometimes we literally just like, okay, where are we dropping? And then we both mark the same place.
Okay.
Alex, you sons of bitches.
No, leave me alone.
He's literally
I'm
farming.
just mining, bro.
Literally farming right now.
I'm just mining, bro.
I think Vaughn's only interested.
Oh my
in me.
god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I don't know
You might
what
be.
you did to
You're,
piss
you're
him
not
off,
wrong.
but
I
Did
killed
not
him.
do upbeat. What the
I didn't even
fuck?
kill you, Vaughn. You know,
There we go, that's what I
Britt
did.
got the final kill on you.
oh, you had them desynced.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, did I get you
Well,
with that?
fuck
I'm
me.
sorry.
All right. Cool. Cool. Cool.
That was not meant for you.
Sister.
Nobody. I think she killed herself.
That's so depressing. Wow. All right. Well, I was gonna compare it to one of my actual sisters, and I'm not gonna do that anymore. Ah, shit.
Well, there you go.
I
You can
did
go
just
with your
kill
sister
myself.
now.
That's cool. Awesome.
No, actually, you got carried by my fucking cart.
Did I? Okay.
Yeah.
La, 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 la. I'm trying to get Feck, not Vaughn. I'm so sorry.
Why are you trying
Get
to
away
get me?
from me. I just want
'Cause
everyone
I
away
don't
from
know.
me.
I don't want to go away from you, though.
Get away. You get a one-way trip away from me.
I swear to God, I'm side being when I upbeat. That's just really dumb. There we go.
What? Wait, what?
Oh well, I fucked up.
Vaughn is a man on a mission.
Stay away from
He
me.
knows exactly what he wants.
Stay
What
away.
is Incineroars?
He's rustling, grabbing.
Holy fuck.
Fun
Jesus
fact, that's
Christ.
inspired off of his actual signature move in Sun and Moon.
What was that on?
Wait, did we just hear Vaughn?
I think so.
Sorry, not sorry. I'm just trying to stay away from myself.
No! No!
You died trying to kill me. That's.
And you died trying to, play the game.
I did. I really did.
Nope.
I was just gonna say I count Feck's death as I caused it, and then I caused my own. Wow. That
Too bad
just
it
said
missed.
fuck you.
Oh, what?
Ow! Did you grab me? What is happening?
Oh, I'm dead. Well, we're both taking a lot of damage. I don't think this is
I'm super dead.
fair. Oh wait, yeah, actually, you might be.
That is fuck.
Feck's like, yeah, I'm
Oh, look, you lived.
so
I'm
gone.
not- Alex, you could have let me kill Vaughn at least.
Alex, you made all
Oh.
of the hope
We.
in Feck's eyes disappear.
Fuck you.
He goes,
I will never forgive you for this.
he screams, I'm
Come
not
on,
dead
you
as
gotta
he
admit
dies.
that was kind of funny. You
That's-
gotta admit.
You destroyed a little boy's hope, how could you?
Little boy. He's older than me.
I'm older than him.
If it was you, that would make sense to use that context, but...
Oh my god.
Oh, well. If you make it back to the ledge, that's no fun.
Vaughn. Hello?
Oh, I'm out of iron! Ah!
What was that?
Devon?
Sweet revenge.
Vaughn being very focused. He's never been this quiet in his life.
That is
Vaughn,
not
you didn't-
true.
You didn't even kill me, Vaughn. You didn't even kill me.
Oh, I killed all of you once, that's fine.
I was.
Oh no, I didn't kill Steve. I killed Para.
For reference, the reason why I ask you guys what number is because my 2 amiibos I trained back to back were Steve and Alex, and I didn't want to play Steve twice, so.
There.
I'm getting some more fun characters coming up though.
I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. Didn't we hear Alex at the beginning of the night say, "I'm not gonna play them"?
I wasn't expecting us to play that many matches, so.
Well, I mean,
who
this
am I
might be
playing
the
next?
last match.
Oh yeah.
Because it's
Really?
almost 1 a.m.
Eh.
Coward.
Wow.
Hi there.
Hi, Lucario.
Fellow Lucario.
Oh, son of a bitch!
You guys today, man.
I don't know how to play this character.
Good luck. Try to learn.
The
We're going
Wendy's,
to Wendy's.
motherfucker.
Yeah. Was this your stage?
Yeah.
I've also been picking like custom stages. I just haven't been getting it.
I don't know what I'm doing. I really don't. So
If
it's
you get
Pokemon
hit,
versus
you're actually winning.
Kazuya.
Pretty much.
Fuck you.
Brett, I am not focused on you in the slightest.
You were at the beginning.
I'm just spamming projectiles.
Hey, can you
Sorry, what's
stop?
happening? What's
I
happening?
can.
What did I?
You're
what did I
charging.
do? Fuck off.
Can you stop?
You were charging a ball.
I was charging a ball?
Not
What does
for
that even mean?
you.
If you charge it up and then you press it again, then you launch out a
Really,
ball. That
I
can
really
hurt.
don't know how to play this character. I'm really bad at this.
B is a projectile. You charge. Side B, when you have a lot of damage, is longer and can grab and kill.
Oh, hey, Lucario. Fuck
Down
off.
down special is a counter. Up special
side
you
B.
can to control.
Hey, you know, you can like not. You can not show me
Good.
by just fucking
Demonstration.
hitting me the whole time. I'm a pinball. Okay.
Actually, I'm a pinball.
Fucking what just happened?
All right, so the best spot to be
Mhm.
is in the Wendy's.
Fuck.
That's for last match.
Oh, I walked right
And
into it.
Britt, you can have fun with that.
I
Britt,
just
walk into it.
I did. I didn't mean to, but I did.
Ah! I almost died to that, by the way.
You would have if I got you.
You almost got me on the tail end, is what I mean.
Ah la la.
I think your side B can actually grab me
why
out of
did I
shield
do that?
if I'm close enough.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Fuck off, fun.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute, get away. Ah! 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 Oh.
Stupid.
No!
Both of you guys. You guys can have fun with that. I ain't messing with you.
Bye bye.
How did that hit me?
Oh, wait a minute. He has his anger! He has anger! Ah!
Oh, okay, bye. Bye. See you later.
Hey!
I didn't want it. You can have it.
I honestly did not mean to get you, but that's fun. Hi. Oh, okay.
Hi.
Okay.
The crowd's hyping up Pichu. Let's go.
Fuck.
You teched it.
Oh.
You teched it twice.
Did I just die? Oh no, you saved me.
Oh?
How'd you get out of
What
that,
the-
Alex?
I don't know.
What just
I
happened?
have no idea.
Well,
It's
I'm
good
not
because
okay with
he
it.
Definitely
So,
about to
Pichu
die.
loves Wendy's.
I'm definitely about to die, and Vaughn is going for the kill.
Did you not know that Pichu canonically eats Wendy's?
No!
No, he's
Okay,
once
bye.
again. You have a target
Why?
on your back.
I'm about to die. Yep.
You sure are.
Oh, taunt, Vaughn, come here.
He was pressing A.
Oh my fucking god.
Ow!
This Wendy's is deadly, bro.
There's only one chair in this entire restaurant.
Two. They're across from each
Oh,
other.
yeah, but they're the same table.
Oh,
I want away from that.
what? What?
Sorry. Vaughn was there and you just, happened to get in the way.
Oh, well, we're doing this again, huh? Okay.
Well, I can't hit anybody because this thing
Yeah.
is very, very bad.
It's just hold left or right. It's actually really good.
No! Fred!
What did I do?
Ooh!
Holy
Maybe?
fuck.
Nope.
Yeah, that,
Oh, shit.
Damn.
Bye-bye.
Ooh,
Ooh,
baby.
what?
I'm baby.
I was about to say, are you just too short for that?
Yeah, I'm baby.
imagine actually seeing this fight outside of a Wendy's.
You know
Like,
what? I
you're
think
just-
I have.
You're just chilling inside, eating your burger, and then you look out the window and
There's a rat, a demon man, and a fox. Just
two
fighting.
weird fox things are beating the shit out of each other, some guy in a suit, and a rat shooting electricity.
Okay.
Oh, I thought I was Brit.
What?
I thought I was the one that went flying.
I don't know my moves. Holy shit. I was trying to go down like Sora does, and I couldn't.
Oh, yeah, that's not how your character works.
Well, I'm not getting that.
I'm trying to get it before Vaughn gets a chance. I beat the shit out of this thing so
Holy
much. Come on.
Fuck me. Okay, well, I'm dead.
You guys can have fun.
Bye. Oh,
Baby.
haha, you fucking tiny ass. You son of an asshole. Holy, bye. I did not mean to do that, but okay.
I'm staying in Wendy's. I'm scared.
Bye. Oh, you're staying in Wendy's?
I'm staying down at Wendy's. What?
How'd that go for you?
Sorry, what?
Not very well.
Imagine you look outside the window and you just see a rat get ricocheted off the concrete into the roof, and then just keep bouncing back and forth until it
You mean
eventually ascends.
inside of Wendy's, and then it just crashes through a window.
No, I don't think that's inside of Wendy's. I think that's like under the little overhang, because that's the sidewalk right there.
Oh, that's what that's supposed to be. You know what? That makes sense then.
Okay, bye.
Vaughn is like
See you
literally
later.
like ready to die. I just haven't been able to touch him.
Oh, la, la, I'm trying to get up and I can't. Okay.
I almost killed myself.
Go right, Britt,
Alright.
right. Oh, okay, or just hit Alex.
I wanted to hit Alex all the way, but,
I'm baby.
Why not go for Vaughn? Because he's won plenty of times.
No, he hasn't.
Fuck.
Alex has won the most. I think the first Vaughn win was last game.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
Wait,
well,
can you
I
not
can't get
grab
up
the
there.
top?
Okay, interesting.
Can you not grab the ledge? You can't.
Not that
Well,
one.
that's fine.
Wait, but can you grab the
You
left,
can,
right
yeah,
ledge?
you can grab. You can.
No, you can't grab the right
Yeah.
one.
You can grab the little triangle.
Yeah, you can grab the triangle. That's it.
I don't want the triangle. I want the roof.
Why wouldn't you want the triangle?
Because I want the roof. Speaking of the roof, that's where the smash ball is stuck. Oh, yeah, you can have fun with that. I ain't fucking with that.
Hell no. Hell no.
Baby.
I jumped right over it. I got lucky. Oh, bye.
Oh, I'm out. Oh, I thought I had another life.
No! Go!
Do it again.
Go!
Do it again.
I'd
Charge your
love
B,
to.
charge your
How
B.
the fuck?
Just B.
I
Without a
can't.
direction.
I'm not trying to.
Side B.
Like,
Do it
Yeah.
again. Do it again.
Oh, this way. What the
Closer.
fuck?
B when you're away, side B when you're close. There you
There.
go. Yeah. Nope.
No! I killed him! He's at 240!
Oh,
Don't
come
get
the
too
fuck
excited.
on. Really?
That's bullshit.
You were caught in the animation 2 times.
Yeah, no, Kazuya's just stupid.
Kazuya is funny.
I only killed Feck. That's actually kind of funny.
Every time I think of Kazuya, I think of the time Vaughn and I zeroed to death each other back to back with combos.
Yeah.
I lasted far longer than I should have.
Yeah, you almost won the game actually. Do you want to make this like final match?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I know you said that one was the last one, but I want to actually pick a character.
Oh, you want to pick a character?
I don't know which character, but I want to play a character. And I'll just keep the stage I had selected. For reference, I also downloaded a bunch of custom stages, Feck. I just haven't got a single one selected yet. Excuse you?
Is that Vaughn?
Did it not just sound like a little...
It did.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun.
Oh, yeah. I mean, now,
Yeah,
obviously.
I was staring at Discord waiting for the green outline to show up. Who are you? Oh, Mario. It's a Mario.
Oh, well, okay. That's what I meant to do.
That was not what I meant to do. That was just habit.
Hey!
I was so terrified,
Fuck off,
dude.
guys.
Why, with your hair, it makes me think of
Oh,
Yami
come
Yugi.
on. That was bullshit. That was delayed as fuck.
Alex, you're on funny number.
I am on funny number. I'm trying to protect it, but Britt ruined it.
I don't care.
You're 0.8 away from funny number, but you're too dead to experience funny number. Oh, wait a minute. Who do I want to kill?
Not me.
It's
Already
not you
done.
I'm going for.
Oh,
there we go.
Why Brit?
Oh, because you had 4 lives.
Miss.
Oh, you missed.
Nobody else got it, at least.
Yeah, I wanted it because it's
Oh,
like
wait,
a fucking
I
stage
didn't
clean. Oh, you didn't jump?
Why do you keep grabbing me, Feck? Fuck off.
I didn't want you. You were just in the.
Fuck!
Get out of the way!
Son of a bitch. Fuck off.
Oh, well, thank you for saving me.
Why?
Wait a
Fuck
minute!
you, Vaughn.
Oh, okay. I thought that was gonna go the full distance to get both of us.
It was
Just
just
over
an-
100.
Holy fuck.
Everybody fuck off!
Feck.
I
Get
don't
away
want
from
you.
me. Get away from me.
Oh, I thought my foot
Thank
would
you.
go through that. Britt?
I couldn't save myself.
Oh my
I
God.
accidentally did up B too quickly.
No reaction?
Oh my god! Fuck off!
Here, Get away from me!
Trying to get Sora neutral?
No, I don't want his neutral.
Which neutral are you trying to get? You just keep inhaling.
Nobody's.
Oh, you're trying
So
to do the
stop
suicide kill.
inhaling!
No, he's trying to get the suicide kill like that. Which
you up.
it worked, so...
Fuck you and your forward smash.
What?
Vaughn disconnected.
Come on, why?
Ah!
It's Vaughn's party too.
Oh, that would explain why then.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't his party, then we would still be
Yeah.
able to play.
Damn it.
Well, damn. I don't want to end like that.
Want to make one more real quick?
Please. I don't want to end like that. Do you want to open it or should I open it?
You
Okay. I'll turn on Final Smash Meter because that's what we've been doing all night. I'll just keep Smash Balls off.
Alright.
No password. You can just join. Oh, wait a minute. I think I put it on a 2-player max. First come, first serve.
God.
Yeah, no, I'll back out.
I'm first.
Brick got it.
Alright, you can 1v1 Alex then. Have fun with that.
Same
Alright, I
brain,
opened up
so
a
I
proper
should
one.
be able to be okay, right?
Question mark?
I don't
See,
know,
you
'cause
used
I also
to-
have the same brain as Alex, and it's it hasn't helped me. So
See, you and I have played Smash Brothers when we were younger, but, you know, it's been so long.
I've also lost all of those.
All of
Oops.
what?
All of the rounds that you and I played when we were kids.
You've won a couple.
A couple.
As Master
In the
Hand,
20 years.
sure.
In the 20
Yeah.
years we've played, you've won a couple.
I like how the one thing you brought up is Master Hand.
As Master Hand, yeah, I definitely won.
Well,
But
that was because Master Hand couldn't die.
exactly. Vaughn
Which
is
I
typing.
figured out how to actually work around that, by the way.
Hey, Alex?
Yeah, huh? Oh. I fixed it. The last time I played was with Maggie, so it was in a 1v1 format.
Oh, Vaughn was typing, now he's not. Okay.
Gay Donkey Kong.
Bye, guys.
I flipped right into a fireball.
Give me up!
Hey, wait, hey, fuck off! Go fuck yourself.
Monkey.
Fuck you, Donkey Kong.
Monkey.
Hold that for me, Britt.
No, I don't want to. Why not the monkey? Why me?
I've already got so much damage. Actually, you got more damage now.
Because the monkey isn't as easy to trick as you are.
What? Hey, what the fuck?
Monkey smart.
Fuck.
The monkey pays more attention.
Monkey
Oh
very
my
attentive.
fucking god. Fuck off, Beck. Actually, fuck off. Thank you.
Oh, if I could have got you again, I could have done that again.
Beck.
No, Alex, no!
Now you gotta get your mashing
No,
finger
why?
ready.
Get away from the fucking monkey, Sora. Holy shit. Get away from the fucking monkey, Sora. Why? Why? I didn't even press B.
I was so vulnerable that entire time and I didn't get hit at all. Oh my god, that was so good. Well,
Fuck.
props to you, Peck. That was good.
Remote
Oh my
explosives are the best thing about this lane.
I wish they were better though.
I didn't even snipe
I
you. Okay.
I wish
interesting.
he had the powers of the other Guardians.
Yeah.
Like maybe he had like a power shield, like K. Rool does to represent
Oh, I
Farouk.
didn't mean to do that.
Maybe he had a healing ability like Mifa's Grace, and his
feel like
up
the-
There we
special
go.
could be a
I feel like
glide.
that might make him too much of an
I'm
overpowered
dead.
character.
Cough cough hero, cough Sora, cough DLC.
Yeah, okay, yeah, point taken.
Get Alex, not me, Feck. Fuck off.
I'm trying!
Monkey.
Fuck off.
No, you bitch!
I died
I hope
too.
you-
Yes,
but it
let's
was so
go.
worth it.
Fuck you, Alex. I'm still at 1 stock, so like, oh well, Alex is 2, I guess now.
Fuck
Yeah,
off.
I'm gonna take Feck down to 1 stock real quick.
No,
You already had 60%.
because you're a bitch.
Now we all have guaranteed 3rd at least, so.
Oh my god, fuck off.
Monkey.
Oh
my God.
Fuck, really?
Feck actually saved me. I just want to throw that out there.
Okay, alright. You know what? I don't want to take anything.
Come here, come here. You clearly want to come over here, Feck.
I really don't.
No,
You
no,
came over to
no,
me!
Stop side being fucking Sora.
Monkey clap.
Holy shit!
Never good. Oh,
God
God damn your fireballs!
Oh, fuck.
Ah, shit.
I'm not trying to fight you, Britt!
I'm not trying to fight you if I'm. If we're
Meanwhile,
honest
I'm
here.
the only person you hit for the last 30 seconds!
Like I said, side B is just just someone else. Oh, okay, that works. I kind of handed Alex to you too, so that was kind of funny. Oh, okay. Well, I missed both. That's fine.
Fred, stop!
Punch. Smack, smack. No, we're good, we're good.
Oh, come on, really?
Monkey clap.
Oh, fuck.
Fred, get out of here!
Oh, I did. That was your fault. Oh, well, alright,
No!
bye.
No!
Yes, yes!
Bye, see you later, I guess. That was your fault, Feck.
That was not my fault. You wouldn't leave me alone!
You were trying to go to Alex the entire time. That's your fault. You died because of
Oh.
you.
No, I died because of you!
No, you died because of you. You wanted to go to Alex. You knew Alex was gonna try and do the same exact thing he's been doing.
If you hadn't hit me, I would have had plenty of health, and I would have survived.
I think
Well.
you're just being a little bitch because you know you fucked up.
Why do you always bully me?
I just love just sitting here and listening to this. It's like, yeah, we're really good friends. We're telepathic and everything. You're a bitch.
That's how you know you're good friends. Honestly,
That's so true.
And Alex and I
the
are
sign,
family
you
and
know?
we do the same thing, so like.
True. All right. GG's. I'm glad we get to get an actual final last match.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow you guys are busy, so
Yep.
I'll see you guys Sunday. Maybe Christmas.
Yeah,
are we
probably
still
not.
playing?
Probably not.
Yeah,
Probably not.
Probably not.
Okay. So then I will see you guys
Um,
Monday for creative.
I wish I could play like Christmas Eve maybe, but I am out of town for most of the day.
Christmas Eve, I am playing Super Mario Party with Corey. If you're interested.
If I am available, probably not. But if I am possibly available.
It'll be around 11:30 your time if we do.
Okay, sure. Just get the demons out of you real quick.
All right, GG's, y'all.
Yeah, GG's. Have a good night.
Later.
Have a good night.
I wanted to be the last one to leave the voice. Alright, you guys have a good night. Peace out. This was really fun. We gotta check on Vaughn, make sure he's okay. But I'll see ya in the next stream. Not gonna be tomorrow, might be Friday. And over the weekend, I don't know what I'm gonna be doing. I don't know if I'm gonna be streaming or playing games or doing anything. Because, like I said, I'm out of town most of the day, Christmas Eve, and Christmas morning, we are something. We're something. I don't know what we are, we're doing something. I don't know what. And so I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I'll see you Friday, maybe. If not, I'll see you guys Monday, for sure. And, maybe over the weekend. Who knows? But, in any case, I hope you guys have a great night. And, enjoy yourselves. If I don't see you before, enjoy your Christmas. Peace out. Have a good one. Bye.